Good morning, Bella Vista. We're back again for In with Flynn. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Morning. It's great to be here.
Yeah, you know what? We're closing in on 2024. Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's been a busy time lately. A lot going on trying to close out the year and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so City Council meeting, the last one of the year, was last Monday.
Yeah.
And you had several things going on.
Yeah.
So you want to get started?
Sure.
What happened?
Yeah, well, the first thing was we had a benefit program, number 4. That's for LOPFI, which is the pension plan for the fire and police departments. But this was just a little change covering the employees that are volunteers. Right now, we actually have one volunteer with the fire department and one with the police. And a lot of times these are people who are retired, and they can accumulate more years of service by being volunteers. And what this change was, it altered their pension a little bit, and it only costs the city $20 a month to enhance it. So we thought, hey, that's only $240 a year, and these people are working for us for free. So it seemed like a good thing to do. So,
but these volunteers now, they were policemen or firemen in their past life. They're just retired from that?
That's the usual case. The person we have over at Fire I'm quite familiar with. His name's Chuck McLean, and he's a handyman.
Oh.
So he's the type of guy fixes a lot of little things around the office. There's always some little thing going wrong. And so it's great to have him to step in and help us with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And on the police side, it actually isn't a former policeman. It's one of our IT folks.
Oh, my goodness.
And Sidney Reynolds, and he has been fantastically helpful. What he's working with them on is when they get evidence off a computer or a cell phone or something like that. So he used to be with a city that had a pension, and he wasn't with a pension with us, so he needs to get those last few years in. And so it's a win-win situation for us and him. Yeah.
So he's kind of one of those, like the TV guys, the forensic things on the computers, or he has to get the evidence.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing nowadays how often you are able to get evidence off a computer or off a cell phone. People see that a lot just watching the news on television and whatnot, the different things they can find out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds good. And then finally got that budget over, didn't you?
Yeah, we adopted the city budget for 2025. And I thought people might be interested in some statistics about it, that the revenue, total revenue for both the street budget and the regular budget is $26.5 million. So it's been constantly increasing pretty much the whole time I was on council. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I've been mayor, it's marched upwards. And the revenue is driven mostly by the county sales tax is the biggest number, and then the city sales tax, and then the city property tax. Those are the 3 biggest numbers. And so we're getting in $26.5 million, and we're spending $26.5 million.
Or maybe more, who knows?
We've got to, well, you do have to stay on track with the budget under state law. But the other interesting thing is how many employees we have. We have 205 employees, and a lot of that is, well, the number 1 area is fire, and the number 2 area is police in terms of numbers. And a lot of that is because you're on 24/7. Mm-hmm. When we're sleeping at night, there's somebody working in the police and fire department. So it causes you to, because of the shifts, need a few more folks. So.
Sure. Well, that's quite a bit. So when the city first started, you didn't have very many employees at all, did you?
Yeah, it was much smaller.
Yeah.
Of course, I wasn't involved back then, but I wasn't in politics back then. But yeah, it was much smaller. Mm-hmm. But we have, one thing I like is we have kept City Hall small, the administration. We have 10 employees, and 7 are full-time, 3 are part-time. Okay. So it's a pretty small group. I like to say the city has a lot of doers, because we've got police and fire and streets, and it's all people doing tasks, and keeping the administration small, helps with the budget. And
So if that's you and the accounting department and the IT department, is that what that is?
The two elected officials would be myself and the city clerk.
City clerk, yes.
And then there's, somebody head of human resources and somebody in finance and legal. We have city attorney.
Right.
So we have different functions like that. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of, we need to get our city attorney on here one day and pick his brain. What do you think?
That would be interesting.
He actually said he would do that, and I almost fell over.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I think that'd be a really good thing because he has a hard job like you do.
Yeah. The other thing might be interesting is sometime to get the people on that run the court. Since we have our own local court here.
Oh, good idea.
That's kind of an interesting group, too. It's a little different. People don't always know the details of that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you for that hint. All right, so now you are wearing a hat that you've worn before on the A&P Commission, right? You're going back to be the representative there? What's up with that?
Yeah, because Doug Fowler didn't get reelected. The way the A&P Commission is set up is by state law. There's 7 members, and 4 of them are people involved in the restaurant and hotel industry, lodging industry, and 1 of them is at large, and then there's 2 from the city. So they either have to be city council folks or the mayor. And so with Doug not renewing, we had to add someone. And what we did is so I was actually added. When I was a council person, I used to be on the A&P Commission. And so I was added on there because of Doug coming off. So.
Okay. And A&P, that's advertising and promotion of the city of Bella Vista. Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's a good point. You tend to fall into using jargon. Everybody doesn't know what you're talking about always. It's called Discover Bella Vista is the name of it. And they promote Bella Vista, try to promote business and promote tourism. And they do a lot of things online, and they've been pretty successful, I think, the last few years. We've only had an advertising and promotion commission for the last 7 years or so.
Yeah.
So it's relatively new entity.
One of the new things that they've been correct me if I don't have this right, but one of the things that I know that Discover Bella Vista and that group they've helped the Arts Council get established with a little room of their own here recently.
Yeah.
And that's nice. So that's promotion. That's, that sort of thing. So good. I'm glad to see you're back on there again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It really actually helps you keep up with what's going on, kind of behind the scenes in the city, in different, because it's kind of a little different aspect from what the city itself does.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Okay. And then you are reappointing some people on the library. Is that the Library Advisory Board?
Yeah, we have a Library Advisory Board, and we reappointed Barbara Knotts and Susan Santos and Sally Benson. And that's a group of, there's 7 people on that board, and they're very dedicated. They oftentimes they go to their meetings. They meet every couple months, and they're really very dedicated to making the library as good as it can be, and very serious-minded group. Very impressive. A lot of them have very strong backgrounds. They used to be head librarians and things like that, and so it's a nice group. It's nice they're so dedicated to making things as good as they could be.
Sure. Yeah. They have a lot of good programs there. I know they have different kinds of book clubs, and they have a little used books corner, and they have children's activities. They really have a lot of good activities. They have a good website, too.
Yeah.
I try to really promote all of the things that are going on our website, and I follow them, so I might have to go to some of those things.
Yeah.
Be fun.
Actually, the other day I went to, they had a little Christmas party, and Santa was there, and then they had some Southern Strings, and another group played music for the adults. And they had a good turnout. It was over 500 people.
Whoa!
And, yeah, it was pretty well attended, and they have a bunch of special programs like that that are really well done.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there's some good things going on in this city. Trash rates. I heard people complaining about this a little bit on Facebook. What's up with the?
Were they?
Yeah, just a little. I mean, it
well,
went up 5%, right?
Yeah, you know, we had a contract with Republic Services that was for 10 years, and it ended in 2022. And then they had 2 5-year options to renew. So the city opted to renew it for 5 years so that it goes through 2027. And they have a contract set up so it's run over the consumer price index, but they use a consumer price index for water, sewer, and something else. You know, there's a bunch of different CPIs, special ones.
Yes.
And it went up 5% this year. You know, the regular CPI didn't go up quite that much, but so the rates are going up a little bit.
But if it hasn't been adjusted in a while, then that's okay.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll ever? This is one of these things that just popped into my head. Do you think we'll ever work on being able ourselves or through them to have recycle pickups?
That's a possibility. You know, people bring that up from time to time. And, you know, we have the recycling center, and it's actually very successful.
It is.
But a lot of times people move from other places, and they say, hey, we had curbside pickup, and we'd kind of like to have that.
Yeah.
So, you know, technically Republic has the right to do that, the legal right, and they have passed on that so far. They're having trouble, I think they're having trouble seeing a way for that to work economically. It's a little more daunting task than you might think.
Well, it is, and if you had curbside pickup, you know, they'd have to sort there, and that's a lot of extra
Yeah.
work. And anyway.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah,
curiosity
so-
question. So for those of you out there that have been asking that question, let's stay tuned, right?
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. All right. Now, animal shelter amendment. I know you support, the city supports the animal shelter.
Yeah.
What's this all about?
We have a contract with them where we don't own them, but we try to help them out some. They're a nonprofit, and I think they do a terrific job on fundraising. They work really hard at it. They have a lot of special events. A couple of them that come to mind is the Wiener Dog Race is big for them. And I've participated the last few years. They have a golf tournament, which is very well run. That raises a fair amount of money. A charity golf tournament is a one-day event. And the other thing pops into my mind is they have a gigantic garage sale.
And it is gigantic.
Yeah.
My husband helped with that one year, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, and they make a surprising amount of money on that. So, but anyway, what the city does, we pay them a flat fee every month, and then we also pay them $60 per cat and $110 per dog that they take in. And the flat fee, what we changed was the flat fee was $5,250 a month, and we changed that to $5,500. So the city ends up paying around, I think the budget for the year coming up is $113,000. But you know, cities that run their own animal shelter cost way, way more than that.
Yeah.
So we feel like we're helping them out, and it's a good deal. You know.
Absolutely.
But it's a contractual arrangement because cities aren't allowed to give money to charities.
Right.
So there's a quid pro quo for our payment.
Something, services
yeah.
of some kind. Yeah. Yeah, I got you.
So,
All right, so I tell you what, let's take a quick little break, and then we'll come back. There's a lot of good stuff on our list here to talk about, okay?
Okay,
We'll see you
thank
in a
you.
few minutes.
Since 2008, Joel's Upholstery and Fabrics in Bentonville has been your go-to destination for top-notch upholstery and fabrics. With over 25,000 yards of in-stock upholstery and home decor fabrics, vinyls, leathers, and a vast design library, we make reupholstery easy and affordable. Our expert staff is available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. to assist you. We cater to both commercial and household upholstery needs. Stay updated on our latest news, sales, and projects by following us on Facebook and Instagram.
And we're back. Okay, the big topic that we talk about all the time, and we've all been kind of sitting on the edge of our chairs about. You know anything more about Blue Crane's, what they've got coming for us, or anything you can share?
Yeah, well, Blue Crane does have plans. You know, when they had the meeting last year, they said they were going to study the infrastructure and whatnot till the end of the year, and they would come back and have a public meeting. And they're planning to do that in early 2025. In fact, I think it'll be in January. And they're pretty anxious to get going on their plans, and they're going to talk mostly about the Phase 1 plans. I think people will be interested to hear what they have to say.
Totally.
That's probably an understatement.
Yeah.
The last meeting was any indication.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a good thing, and it's consistent with what they said in their initial press release, you know, that there is a focus on outdoor recreation on their part, but they are going to have other things as well, you know. And I think it's going to spur Bella Vista along and help with our sales tax and all those kind of things.
Well, I'm hoping we can get some more commercial business in there, because that really will help not only the city, but the patrons, the people that live here. You know, it'll be really nice.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's good stuff. Okay, and I know we've been working now for the last almost 18 months on code reform plans.
Oh, yeah, the code reform plans from our consultants in Tulsa. And they are also going to have a public meeting early next year. And I think things are going to come to the Planning Commission and City Council the next few months. Appears to me that they'll be certainly be completely done by spring. So, you know, this is one of those things that's kind of a nuts and bolts thing. It's hard for the regular citizen to, you know, get excited about it, wrap their arms around it. But I think it really is going to help the city.
It's going to help the Planning Commission a lot.
From the point of view of making, you know, if you make things smoother and run better, it's better for new business. You know, it'll encourage people to do this. So along with the Blue Crane, the two things almost work together in a way, that you've got Blue Crane coming in, and then having, for other businesses, having it easier to get your plans through. And as you know, there's some things maybe you wouldn't have to go to the Planning Commission anymore, you know, less hurdles for people. And also having the code, you know, read better, fit together better. And they are talking about zoning reform for the whole city in conjunction with that. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see it, because, you know, they did the very best they could when they started the city, but a lot of things were just cobbled together to get it in place. So now we've got, what? How many years behind us now? A lot. And we can make it more applicable to Bella Vista.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I like those little data mining things. That
Yeah.
kind of makes me excited. I'm
Yeah.
a nerd,
So,
basically. So,
yeah.
Okay, well, that's good stuff. Now, Campfire Ranch. That's the old...
Yeah, is what used to be the inn at Bella Vista, and a new group is coming in and refurbishing that. And I understand it's to the point now where they're starting to take reservations, but that's planning ahead. I think it'll be ready to go maybe by spring. They've got a fair amount of work to do yet. And it was just like, I think it's a great timing, you know, that initial owners did a great job and had it going for many years, and they were at a stage for retirement, and along came, you know, Blue Crane, and they got these outside folks. Campfire Ranch has several locations in Colorado, and so I think it's just a good situation for all concerned, and I think they're going to really revitalize that and make it something special for people.
Yes.
You know, the concept of they made a presentation. I heard about their concept of it, and it's almost like concierge type, in, you know, where you say, oh, well, while we're here, we'd like to go on bike rides, and they arrange it and everything, so all you have to do is go hop on the bike
Sure.
and go, or
Sure.
we'd like to do this, we'd like to play golf, we'd like to do this or that. They arrange everything, do all the red tape, and so it's kind of like pampering people.
Yeah.
So if you like a pampered vacation, that would be the way to go.
Yeah, glamping, I guess. Of course,
Yeah.
it's and actually they really, if I remember correctly, in the Planning Commission, they really are just maybe expanding the parking lot and making all that better, and just inside, just rearranging some rooms. Really not doing a lot
Yeah.
other than taking the '60s look away.
Yeah, it's
So-
it's a good location. It's a nice piece of property there on
Yeah.
Chelsea Road.
Yeah.
Rather attractive.
All right, so now our glorious streets department. Tell us, they do good stuff, don't
Yeah, yeah, we got some good news just the other day. We knew that the state commission was going to decide in December, but we had put in for a grant. They have a grants that go to the cities for about $300,000. Well, it's a max of $300,000. And it goes, they think, normally you might get one every 4 years or so, but you have to apply, So this road is Bethnal Road. It's over on the far east side, and it's about a mile long. And
Kind of near Pea Ridge over?
yeah,
Okay.
almost, yeah. It comes off of Grosvenor.
Okay.
And then I think on the other end it hooks up with, I want to say it's Lancashire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so it's about a mile long and really needed paving. And so we did just hear the other day that we got that grant for the $300,000, which is a real shot in the arm, because it's going to cost, well, the estimates are it would cost $313. But the way the state grants work, they award it to you now, and you actually, the work is done, and you get the money in 2026. So you actually wait a year. It seems in the public sector, everything is waiting for a while, right?
Yeah.
But we were excited to get that grant, and basically the way the city works, the way we're working now, is all the different departments, we have them try to get grants in their area. So, and it's a challenge. Sometimes you'll go for a grant and not get it. And the key is to not get discouraged, to keep trying.
That's right.
Because you're not going to get a base hit every time you go to the plate, right?
That's right. That's
but
right.
if you don't go to the plate, you definitely won't get a base hit, right?
That's right. That's right.
So that was exciting for us to hear about that.
Sure. And another exciting thing, you're a trendsetter, huh?
Yeah, there's an award from Arkansas Business, and it's called the Trendsetter City Award. And this was also the street department. We got the award for our asphalt zipper, and that is a piece of machinery we had isolated on a year or two ago. And there's some other cities that had used it, and they all said, oh, it's just great. So what it does, when you have a bad spot in the road, it chews up the road in the bad spot and turns that product into base. So then you can use it, lay it down, and then put the new asphalt over it. So it saves you time on man hours, but also saves you cost, because now instead of going out and buying the base and trucking it in, you've got the base right there. You've chewed it up and created your own base. So we studied these other cities. They all said, hey, this works great. And then we got one. It's a big piece of equipment, as you can imagine. You have to be pretty strong to chew up asphalt.
No kidding. Absolutely.
So we've been real pleased with that. And Arkansas Business technically gives the award, but it's awarded to us at the Arkansas Municipal League. So in January, we'll get the presentation of the Trendsetter City Award.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's great. Speaking of that, you've got a new, younger, first time ever, younger city council coming up.
Yeah, we actually, from the recent elections, we have 3 new council members, and they're all in their 30s and 40s. And in the past, our council was mostly retirees. And so now we're at the point where we have 3 council people who are brand new, and 2 of them who've been on for a couple of years. And so there's only 1 who's been on for a while. So the 3 people who retired from council had, I added up their years, it was between the 3 of them, 28 years on city council. So now we have 3 people with 0 experience and 2 with a couple of years. But one of the reasons they stagger the council,
Yes.
you run for 3 positions, and then 2 years later they run for the other 3.
2, yeah, other 3. So.
Yeah, and the reason for that is so the whole council doesn't turn over at once, and you'll always have some experienced people there. So I always thought, oh, that'll never happen, but it
Never
happened
say
this time.
never.
Yeah, we had all 3 turn over, so I guess it's a good system we have there. But I'm encouraged by it. I think, the younger people kind of are reflecting how the city's changing. As of 2022, our median age in Bella Vista was 50.2 years old. So I'm sure it's below 50 by now. It's been a couple years later. So, it is a change in the city's demographic, and we're getting more younger people with good records and impressive backgrounds running. So it's encouraging that way.
Absolutely.
And but I think it's going to be fine because they're young, they're enthusiastic, and have a lot of energy like you do when you first take on a new task. So I really appreciate the efforts of the people who were here and have bowed out. But I'm encouraged by the younger folks, and you and I were talking before the show. The Arkansas Municipal League helps train people, and it happens their meeting in January is the middle of January, right before our first meeting. So all the new folks are going down there, and they'll get a chance to learn some things before they even start. So that's going to be
really
good timing.
Good stuff. Wozniak, I love him. I'm sorry to see him go. And the little thing he said at City Council the other night, it doesn't mean a lot unless you think about it a little bit. And he says, my advice to the young people is concentrate on the donut, not the hole. And if you think about it, he's right. Don't worry about this part. Let's see how it affects the whole thing.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
it's interesting. Jim Wozniak was on council 14 years, and that was the longest serving we'd ever had. In fact, I was looking at the whole list. We've been a city since 2007. And the second longest is Doug Fowler and myself at 8 years. So we haven't had a lot of council people, which is 2 terms. We haven't had a lot of council people stay on a long time. And Jim, before he was on council, was chief of police. And before that, he was with the Sheriff's Department in the Bella Vista Division. So he does have a lot of history, for sure.
Didn't he do some JP stuff too, Justice of the Peace?
Yeah, he mentioned it. I knew he'd been Justice of the Peace, but he mentioned that, which is the quorum court, that's the county version, of city council. And he was on that for 8 years, so it was longer than I'd realized. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, we're going to miss all of them, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
So,
if we have time, I wanted to mention one more thing.
Please.
Our planning director mentioned this to me the other day, Taylor Robertson, that looking at the period 2019 to 2024, that 5-year period, every type of permit we have has increased by more than 100%. So a housing residential permit, more than 100% increase. Commercial, more than 100% increase. Grading and erosion control, which is what you do before you get the housing permit, is way more than 100%. So it shows the growth of the city and the growth in the activity in the city. I think the point she was making is how much more work her department was
Probably.
doing.
Well,
but it is amazing
And
to
you're
think
not
of that
saying,
way.
you're not saying that the permit costs themselves have gone up 100%. You're just saying it's the growth.
Yeah,
We're doing so much
the
more.
numbers of them.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing. Everybody wants to live here and come here.
Yeah.
And
Can you blame them?
yeah, so I have been struck by how happy most of the citizens seem to be when I talk to them, and that makes me feel good.
Absolutely.
We're trying to keep it that way. Keep them happy.
Exactly. Speaking of, I think it's time to say goodbye to this month, this time, and to 2024. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say so. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Appreciate all your efforts this year in this city and helping me to get the word out to people.
Well, hey, it's all of our jobs. If everybody does just a little bit, it
Yeah.
works. Okay, thank you, everybody. We will see you in 2025.
Thank you.